Hello, good morning and a very warm welcome to round 6 of the 2021 FIM CV Repsol Championship. We're here at the classic 4.4 kilometre long ribbon of asphalt that is the Circuito de Jerez and Nieto for a bumper day of action where we'll see 2 Moto3 Junior World Championship races, 2 Hawkers European Talent Cup races and 2 European Moto2 Championship races. Yes, that's right, 6 races are coming your way today and we could be in for some crowning of champions too. My name is Elliot York and alongside me is Jack Gorse, and we can confirm it is hot in Jerez. As you can see there, the sun is shining. Highs of 37 degrees are forecast today at a sun-baked Jerez. Let's hope the racing is just as scorching as the weather. First up, Moto3 Race 1. Daniel Holgado has a 60-point advantage coming into this weekend and could wrap up the title here today. Jack, how are you, mate? How much are you looking forward to today's action?
Yeah, looking forward to it a lot, Elliot. As you say, we've got an absolute blockbuster schedule for you today. 6 races, and it really is going to be some hot action. Hoping for a very, very enjoyable and safe race day. And, well, hot is a bit of an understatement because it's absolutely nuclear down in Jerez. But this was last time out in Aragon, and this is what happened.
It was also quite hot in Aragon, let me tell you that. I wasn't there, but our commentators Jack Appleyard and Lewis Sotheby were saying temperatures of 40 degrees, but this is the Moto3 race then, only 1 race over in Aragon. That was one of the junior talent team riders high-siding out of action, and typically in the Moto3 race, a group formed at the front. There's Ivan Ortola diving up the inside of Daniel Holgado with Jose Antonio Rueda, the pole sitter, last time out there in the lead group. It was a fantastic battle. Daniel Holgado, of course, as we mentioned, leading the championship standings in a fantastic race over in Aragon. That's the number 64, David Munoz, your eventual race winner. He would come over the line first for the first time in his Junior World Championship career. Daniel Holgado led the way in the closing stages, but you can see there the pack behind caught them towards the end of the race, led by Joel Kelso, the number 66. Watch out for him today, he's on the front row. But yeah, it all came down to a last lap thriller, as is often the case in the Moto3 Junior World Championship. That long kilometre straight at Aragon, very good for slipstream, and coming out on top, as we mentioned, the number 64, David Munoz, a race winner for the first time in the Junior World Championship. What are we going to see today here in Jerez? Let me tell you, the qualifying results were incredibly close. 1 second covers the top 27. So that just gives you a little indication of how warm it is. Whilst we've been on air, it's actually crept up 2 degrees to 29 degrees Celsius. 1 mile per hour wind, that's perfect conditions then for these riders. So wind shouldn't play a factor, hopefully. And yeah, we're in for a cracking day, aren't we, Jack?
Yeah, we certainly are. It's actually quite a good thing that that wind has dropped a little bit, because earlier it was blowing a bit of a blustery breeze straight into their faces when they come down the main straight after turn 5 down into Jerez corner at 6. So without that headwind then, maybe the slipstream would just be a little bit less potent, but I'm sure as Moto3 it will always be quite potent anyway. So they're on the grid then. And it's time for the first race of the day, Moto3, as we say. And in Moto3, it's been the story of one man, really, Daniel Holgado. But this time, he is nowhere to be seen on the first 3 rows of the grid. He's all the way back in 10th. And it's this man that's on pole.
Yeah, Ivan Ortola, the rookie, the sensational rookie. It's easy to forget, actually, that this is his rookie year. He's been around a long time. But here's what happened in qualifying first.
Yeah, I'm very happy. The second pole position in Moto3, in Team Repsol. I'm very happy because it's important being first row in the grid for the race, and less difficulties for the race. Thanks to the team, because they did a really good job.
There he is, then Ivan Ortola, the pole sitter, 3rd in the championship standings, 77.72 away from Daniel Holgado. So he's got a lot of catching up to do today if Daniel Holgado is going to be beaten. There you can see the 3rd place in Valencia and 2nd place in Barcelona, his 2 podiums this year. He has podium pedigree here in the Red Bull Rookies this year. He finished 2nd earlier on in the season, and also last year in the European Talent Cup. And obviously with the pole, it's clear that Ortola loves Jerez.
Yeah, he certainly does. That pole time was actually pretty rapid indeed. And this morning, again, in warm-up, he was going pretty well as well. I believe he was somewhere around the top 10, but not too sure. But anyway, Ortola then certainly going to be one to try and chase that first win of the season. Obviously, he is still a rookie. Now, this is a man that you won't have seen before in FIM CV Repsol, this year at least. Anyway, this is Bartolini, the Italian, with an absolutely fantastic head of hair. Look at that. That is some proper luscious locks, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm jealous of them.
There you go. You can see, obviously, it is his debut in the championship, and he's put it on second place on the grid. Not bad. Riding for Team MTA, so obviously teammates to Ortola. So a 1-2 for those boys. They were pretty happy yesterday, and I'm sure that more of the same recipe today will certainly make them happy again.
Yeah, Grand Prix watchers all know Bartolini a little bit. He has ridden five Moto3 races this year. From Mugello all the way to Austria last time out. First with the VR46 team that he races in the Italian Championship with, and then he replaced Carlos Tatai, the injured Carlos Tatai, in Avintia. Now, we mentioned Joel Kelso earlier on. Here he is. He won in Portimao. That was his debut victory in the class. And before Aragon, he was sick for about 2 weeks. He was bedridden for 2 weeks and then turned up at Aragon with only about 5 days of training under his belt after recovering, and produced a phenomenal race. And he's starting on the front row. So expect big things from Joel Kelso today.
And that race in Aragon, he did that with a long lap penalty as well. So long lap penalty and all the way through to 8th place. It seems that he's another one that when he's gone to the World Championship for a fill-in ride, as he did on the CIP Green Power team, ever since then it's just kind of kicked him up that gear and he's back into form. So here's the man heading up the second row of the grid. It is Takuma Matsuyama, the Japanese rider. Going quite well this year. Really fast at each round, but just, it seems, a little bit of inconsistency and bad luck with crashes or collections with other riders. Just seen him not quite reach those podiums as frequently as maybe he would like.
Yeah, the junior talent team have been quite unlucky this year, with a few of their riders being involved in incidents and crashing out of contention. But yeah, Matsuyama has been at the forefront of the junior talent team throughout the season, and P4 on the grid. He is going to be aiming for a podium. He's going to try and repeat what he did in Valencia with that podium. Here's David Munoz, 5th on the grid, the number 64. The winner last time out, of course, was Saul. Now he is Holgado's closest rival. So let's explain this now, because he's 60 points off Holgado. There's 4 races left, including the 2 today. Or is there 5? There's 5 left. Sorry, I forget to go to Mazzano. So there's 5 races left. So at the end of today, if Holgado is 75 points clear, or more, of course, then he will take the title. I think I've got that right. You can confirm that. But yes, 75 points after today, Holgado will win the title. So David Munoz will be hoping he can stop that until at least Mazzano, and of course try and win it himself.
Yeah, he definitely will be. And David Munoz, he's really on form at the moment. He's just kind of been consistently picking away at those top 5 positions in every race. There's only the one blemish on his record this year, where he actually had a high side with his teammate Daniel Munoz all the way back in, I believe it was Valencia race 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Here's Scott Ogden then, 6th on the grid, the best qualifying result in the Junior World Championship for Scott Ogden, the leading Aspar team rider here today. He's been really happy with his progress all weekend. Started off on Thursday free practice really well and has just continued to impress. There's that only podium so far, the P3 in Catalonia. Had a really good round in Barcelona. A little bit of bad luck here and there for Scott Ogden, but he's going really well in 2021, and he's aiming to become the first British race winner, of a Junior World Championship race since Wayne Ryan in 2013. I was convinced John McPhee had done it before, but checking back through the results and statistics, we've not had a British winner in the Junior World Championship since 2013, and Scott Ogden looked like he could be on to do that today, or at least a podium, which will be a great result for Ogden.
Yeah, it certainly would be. He's really been coming to the fore this year, certainly showing his maturity and proving the reason why that Aspar Junior team have picked him up. Here's Mario Aggi then. Mario Aggi's gone very well this year, to be fair to him. Seems to have the pace at pretty much every circuit, but in the last couple of races he's not quite had the best qualifying, and it's hindered him in the races as well. But this is his best QP since he was on pole position in Catalonia, and there he was right at the head of the pack the whole race long, just until those last couple of laps where a bit of contact with some other riders just kind of saw him fall back a little bit.
we mentioned 1 second covers the top 27, 0.5 seconds covers the top 12. So all these riders are incredibly close. It's going to be a really, really fascinating battle here today. And of course, Mario Adger will be wanting to be in the thick of it. He crashed on the last lap at Motorland Aragon at turn 1. So he'll be hoping for better fortunes today. As we focus back in on Ortola, what can he do from pole position? Here's Marco Tapia, the rookie, 7th in ETC last season. He's been going well this year, just a little bit inconsistent, but that's to be expected. It is his rookie season, after all, in the Leopard Impala Junior team. So if he starts doing well next year in his second year, which it looks like he's going to be, because he's a really exciting talent as Tapia, then there's that progress into potentially the Moto3 Grand Prix paddock. So yeah, look out for Tapia today, starting from the middle of the third row.
Yeah, better qualifying for him once again. He was on the front row last time out. And 8th again today here is much, much better than what he has been doing historically the rest of the season. But lining up next to him is the man that actually won one of the races here last year, Jose Julian Garcia on the 658 Squadron course machine. Really exciting young rider. It's just, for some reason this year, it's not really clicked. He's been very, very quick. Obviously, if you think back to Catalonia, both races he was up there, actually crashed out the lead while pushing in the final few laps in one of them, and the other it just didn't really work out for him. But another man we're going to have to watch out about, because he has form here, and also this is his worst qualifying of the year, and he's only 9th. So not bad at all. Rapid everywhere is Garcia.
Yeah, into his 5th year now, so Garcia is probably, I think, the second most experienced rider on the grid. So yeah, definitely look out for Garcia. We didn't quite catch Daniel Holgado there, but we can confirm he's in 10th. So very one is Ortola, Bartolini and Kelso. From Matsuyama, Munoz and Ogden. Then Mario Adger, Tapia and Garcia complete row 3.
When the graphics change, we'll eventually see the championship leader, Daniel Holgado, number 96 on the gas. There he is in 10th with Moreira alongside him. He's got a double long lap penalty, so watch out for him charging back through the field afterwards. His teammate Rueda's in 12th. Then it's Watley, Salvador, Alonso, Nishimura, Van den Gorberg and Nieto. Also, Nishimura has a double long lap penalty too.
Row 7 is Daniel Munoz, Asman and Carraro. Row 8 is Vaya. He has a long lap penalty as well. Volpi and Milan, who also has a long lap penalty. Row 9 is Uriarte, Ryu and Fusco.
And then making up the rest of the field, we have Senna Aguis, Marcos Ruda, Felipe Farioli, Tachikun Bouazri, Eddie O'Shea and Morosi.
Race 1 of the day then about to get underway. They're going to head on the warm-up lap, and then they'll come back round to the grid to start the race. Any predictions, Jack? It's difficult to predict a Moto3 race, either in the Junior World Championship or in the World Championship.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I was actually just about to ask you the same thing.
Got there before, yeah.
I will predict that Scott Ogden is going to fight for the podium in this one, but also those two Team MTA boys looked superb yesterday. They were following each other around all day through qualifying, and supposedly they've been doing it as well in the free practice. I think if those two can get the start and get out front, there's not many that will be able to go with them. But this is Moto3, stranger things have happened. Last year we saw groups of 7 or 8 going down to the final corner, so I mean it's a gamble, this one, isn't it?
We've not mentioned the likes of David Salvador down in 14th. He was quickest in warm-up this morning by 0.4 seconds. So he's woken up on the right side of the bed. There's David Alonso, the Red Bull Rookies Cup champion-elect. He's in 15th, so watch out for them. There's Sho Nishimura in 16th. Zonta van den Gorberg's been going well. We see down in 17th. So there's lots of quick riders who are outside the top 10 who can really mix it today. So this really is going to be a fascinating battle. There is the lovely Jerez. It's always great to come down to Andalusia, a wonderful part of the world, and it always provides great racing.
Yeah, it certainly does. We love coming to Jerez. It's a proper Grand Prix venue. Certainly one that, for these Moto3 bikes as well, really lets them stretch their legs, but still a little bit tight enough so they have to carry the lovely corner speed. So that is the situation then. David Munoz is the only man, as it stands, that is close enough to him to really put up a challenge at the moment. Ortola, if he can win the race and say Holgado is down the order somewhere, then it will certainly spice things up and close it. But that 60-point buffer is, it means that Holgado is sitting pretty at the moment, as we do just turn to him there on the gas machine.
It really is. Worst result this season for Daniel Holgado is a 4th place. He won the opening 3 races, finished 4th in Barcelona race 1, then won the second race, finished 2nd in Portimao, and then finished 3rd in Aragon. So he really has been on a different level in 2021 in the Junior World Championship. What can he do today? He can't win it in the first race, but the rivals can certainly close him down. He's looking fairly relaxed. Is the number 96. He's raring to go. What's going to happen? There's Bartolini just taking a little look over. The number 22. He's going from the middle of the first row, so watch out for Bartolini. And there is your pole sitter, Ivan Ortola, hunting that first victory.
Yeah, so momentarily then Reds will be up and the lights will be going out. Everybody making their way to the grid. I believe that's 67 of Gerard Ryu just rolling up. That's the last man. There's Kelso, watch out for him. He's on form at the moment, but we are almost under starters' orders. And Ortola is going to be looking for the whole shot.
The green flag waves in the back then. Revs will be up, the lights will come on. And we'll be underway for race 1 here in Jerez, and it looks like a good start from pole sitter Ivan Ortola. He cuts across to the inside to cover off Bartolini and Kelso. Kelso gets the better of Bartolini. It's like Matsuyama's, no, not quite. I thought he was going to dive up the inside of Bartolini into turn 1, but it's a great start from Ortola. The perfect launch, a great start for Kelso as well as Bartolini. Is he going to try up the inside? No, he's not. A good start from your front row, and Matsuyama in 4th place.
I tell you what though, look at Daniel Holgado already up into 5th, I do believe, as he makes his way under, was that Scott Ogden? It was. So he's the top gas man already, and we're 4 corners into it. So Holgado on the move in 1st sector.
Perfect start then for Daniel Holgado, just what he needed from 10th place on the grid. He didn't want to get a back start and get bogged down in the middle of the pack. That's just not what you want to do in the Moto3 class or in any class, but especially in Moto3 when you're chasing the tiles. So down the back straight then for the first time. Kelso tucked up in the slipstream of Ortola. Is he going to make a move? Don't think he is. Bartolini might be on Kelso though. No, not quite. We're going to see plenty of action down into the Dani Pedrosa corner today, but Ortola leading the Waston and looking good on this opening lap.
Yeah, it certainly is. David Munoz and Danny Holgado then tied together in 5th and 6th. Oh, who's that? Eddie O'Shea's gone down. That's a shame for the young Brit. I'm not too sure. That looks like it might have been turn 6. So we've already had one caught out by the Jerez heat here. Who was that going wide? I think that was the 92 Moreira going way wide. But as it is, there is Eddie O'Shea. Glad to see that he's all up and okay. Hopefully he'll be able to continue in the race 2 later on this afternoon.
Yeah, and looking for Eddie O'Shea, he's been going really well this weekend, only 1.6 seconds off the pace on his first time here on a Moto3 bike. But back at the front still, Ortola leading the way from Kelso, Bartolini, Matsuyama and David Munoz.
Oh, speaking of David Munoz,
look over the inside, he's going to make it stick. That's a great move from the number 64, but it's going to be Ivan Ortola who leads the way across the line on lap 1.
So here we go then, lap 1 across the stripe, and Kelso looks like he's got the bit between his teeth. It seems as though the number 22, Elia Bartolini, has just settled into this race a little bit now as well, after a little bit of a shaky start, looking like he was maybe going to go back to 4th behind David Munoz. But the Italian is there on his debut and looking impressive.
There's Mario Aggi there, just behind Daniel Holgado. Holgado just settling into the race nicely, crossed the line in 7th place behind Jose Julian Garcia. We mentioned him, didn't we, at the start of the show, as another one to look out for. Great start from Garcia. Aggi's in 8th place. Scott Ogden's just fallen a couple of places into 9th. That was close there, going into the sweeping right-hander of turn 5.
Yeah, that's one brave place to make a manoeuvre. But Kelso then, he's tucked in behind the bubble, going to pop out from the slipstream and see if he can dive bomb Ortola down into turn 6. Doesn't look like it. Ortola incredibly late on the brakes. And David Munoz actually up into 3rd, looking all ready to go into 2nd.
He knows what he needs to do, doesn't he, David Munoz? He needs to try and win the race, or at least, the very least, try and beat Daniel Holgado in terms of the championship, and he's going to go up the inside here. That's a great move at turn 8 before we head into the stadium section. There's some fans in the background. We do have fans here today, so they're going to be treated to 6 races of absolute class here today. But it's still Ortola leading, but he has got a freight train behind him. We did say the riders were very closely compact in terms of the times in qualifying, and it's looking like they are in the race as well, but it is early days yet.
Interestingly, it's not going all the way that Daniel Holgado wanted. He's actually got a little bit of a gap up to Matsuyama in front of him, and he's coming under pressure from Matsuyama's teammate Mario Aggi now. Whoa, that was close. Jose Julian Garcia, the race winner here last year, I do apologise, is already up into 4th then, so he's surging through. Great start for Garcia.
Oh, contact there on the front straight between Kelso and David Munoz. That's a little bit too close for comfort. David Munoz making the move stick into turn 1. That was really close there. Oh, not sure if he was saying sorry there. I don't think he was, but we won't speculate what happened there. But yeah, contact on the front straight. That's Yeah, that's very dangerous. I'm not sure what happened. There's a high side in the background. It looked like one of the Estrella Galicia riders.
That may well have been Moreira, is it?
Oh, no,
Asman. Oh, such a shame for Asman. Had a bit of a difficult qualifying yesterday, and it looks as though his weekend has just gone from bad to worse. So then there's your confirmation that it was Sarifin Asman that's crashed out. Lots of rumours actually recently linking him to a possible GP ride next year, so keep your eye on that. It may well be an announcement coming very soon. Looks like David Munoz then, he's going to go for the lead. Actually, interesting, Salvador with the fastest lap. Where's he at the back of this group on the TM? Looks like he's just charging his way through, up into the top 10 now. But yes, as it is then, David Munoz has taken the lead, and that is massive for his championship challenge, with David Holgado down in 7th and not making any progress, really.
Yeah, Holgado just holding station for the time being. David Munoz doing all the work in the opening stages. Can he break away? I'm not sure he's quite got the pace to do so, but we never know as Kelso and David Munoz get the better of Ortola. So Ortola slipped down to 3rd. Here we go then. This is the contact that was made on the front straight. It's a whole, David Munoz pulls. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, well, we'll reserve judgment, but certainly I don't think Kelso will be too happy with that one. And it looks at, oh wow, 4 abreast into the final corner, into Lorenzo. And Jose Julian Garcia is going to push them all out wide to pick up into 2nd. Oh, not quite. David Munoz right down in the background. Aggressive. Not sure who that was. Looked like a blue bike, but not. It may well have been David Salvador. Is David Salvador still there? He isn't, I don't think. No, he is. Salvador's tumbling down our timing screen, so after a great start, Salvador, the number 38 is down. I'm not sure he's down and out. Has he got the bike running? No, it doesn't look like it. But yeah, unfortunately for David Salvador there, but it's Joel Kelso who's leading the way. What's the freight train made up of? I think, down to Josh Watley in 13th is 2 seconds between them. 2.2 seconds now, and then there's a gap of a second back to Mario Aggi in 14th. So something happened to Aggi there, because he was in the top 10 a lap or two ago, so not sure what happened there to Mario Aggi. I just wonder if Aggi maybe gave Salvador a little bit of help, or possibly the other way around. Anyway, we'll have to see a replay to be able to confirm on that one. So Kelso then hits the front. Oh, Tola almost out the front door there. I think that was the tag in the back of Jose Julian Garcia. But what it has done is let his teammate Bartolini through. So now those 2 MTA bikes are once again tied together. There's David Salvador then. He's got the bike running, but unfortunately it looks like it's race over for the number 38. Hopefully we'll get a replay to see what happened down at the Jorge Lorenzo corner into turn 13. But as it is, it's Joel Kelso now leading the way with David Munoz tucked up right behind him. Garcia just taking a look behind him, seeing a face full of the number 22. That's Bartolini. Bartolini's made a steady start. Nothing too special from the Italian, but good enough. He's up into the top 5. Did you see David? Oh, yeah. So that was the incident between Ortola and Jose Julian Garcia. But did you see David Munoz just taking a couple of glances across at Kelso there, just making sure he was going to see if Kelso was going to sweep around and cut his nose off, and that's exactly what happened. Here we go then. Oh, wow, that is getting quite aggressive between these two now. As Bartolini takes advantage, he's going to go through to lead. Oh, not quite. Gets his nose cut off by Kelso. So the Aussie Kelso then, he's got the elbows out and he's not letting anyone through at the moment. Oh, Garcia 2 for 1 there at turn 2. Excellent stuff from the number 2658 rider. But yeah, getting close again between Kelso and David Munoz. It's not really what they should be doing. They're going to cost each other time by doing that. And now with Garcia's move into turn 2, the top 2 have just got a little bit of a gap now. But as we always see, as we often see in the Moto3 Junior World Championship, that can close quite quickly with the slipstream coming into play. But there's a whole gaggle of riders trying to get out the slipstream. There's Daniel Holgado just in front of him, his teammate Scott Ogden pulling up to the inside. That's Matsuyama on, even on Tola. Daniel Munoz 17 in the background, diving up the inside. I don't know how everyone got away with that one. That's actually, speaking of Daniel Munoz, he was 19th on the grid. So where is he now? Is he up into the top 10? I do believe he may well be. So that's a great start for Daniel Munoz. 10th on the timing screen. He's ghosted his way up through the pack, and he's already into the business end with 12 laps to go. It's what can happen, isn't it, in the races, in these types of races. If you get a decent enough start, you can get into the lead pack because it's so big and just tag onto the back of them and start overtaking and start racing with them. You can easily just bridge the gap from a poor qualifying into a good race. So that's what we're seeing at the minute from Daniel Munoz.
That's another one of the TM riders. I think that was the number 10, which if it is, that was Nicola Carraro on the other TM factory racing machine. There are 3 of them out there and 2 of them on the deck already. So the disaster for the Italian TM boys.
11 laps to go then when we cross the line. It's Joel Kelso leading the way from Bartolini and David Munoz, the number 64. Bartolini pulls up alongside, makes a move stick into turn 1, and as does David Munoz. So that's going to be interesting towards the end of the race. I think that might have been an apology from David Munoz. Just to say, sorry, mate, let's keep it nice and clean now for the rest of the race. So, yeah, 11 laps to go. It's Bartolini now, your race leader.
The eagle-eyed of you, they may have spotted in the background there, just as they came out of turn 13, Lorenzo Corda, the number 92, Moreira, did take his first of his long laps, and he's put him a few seconds behind this pack now. He's down in 16th. What's that? About 2.5 seconds off the back of the pack. So we'll keep an update on him and see if he can make progress back up. But he then does have to do it again. So long day in the office for Diogo Moreira.
Yeah, they don't carry over into race 2, so it's just race 1 that Diogo Moreira's got to do the double long lap penalty. So he'll be able to come back out this afternoon in race 2 and not have to worry unless he does any misdemeanors today in race 1. We just saw someone running over track limits. We've got to keep an eye on that as well. If you guys watch the Moto3 World Championship and other Road to MotoGP programs, you'll know track limits is quite a substantial factor with riders running into the green. If they do it 3 times, they get a long lap penalty. They'll get a warning after doing it twice. So yeah, just keep an eye on that.
Oh, that's going to be a big move from David Munoz. So up into second place as they come through 11 on the run down to turn 13 now. I didn't realise there was about 23 different racing lines around Jerez, but these boys are proving that that is an actual fact right now as Ortola sweeps through up into 3rd place as well. So the MTA boys, they've got a sandwich around David Munoz on the purple Avatel Cardoso racing machine.
Across the line we go then. 10 laps to go now. The clock just ticks down to 10. Number 22 holds it into turn 1, so we've not seen that for a while now. So Bartolini holds it into turn 1. David Munoz now in second. David Munoz is desperate to try and win this race, make it back-to-back wins. We'll reiterate, the championship is on the line here today, potentially for Daniel Holgado. So David Munoz needs to do the best he can. All he can do is win the race. He doesn't need to worry about what Daniel Holgado is doing to try and bridge the gap. There's Kelso running onto the green stuff, so he can't do that too many more times. The number 66, he's been shuffled back down to 5th place as we come round turn 5, get tucked in down the back straight and head into turn 6. We're going to see plenty of action here today. Are we going to see it on this lap?
So, unfortunately, Alex Milan has crashed. He actually had a
Garcia.
Oh, wowzers. Garcia all the way up underneath 2 of them, I do believe that was. So, yeah, Garcia certainly quite ballsy on the brakes. That's the number 14 of Alex Milan that just popped up on your screen. He had a double long lap penalty anyway. So, yeah, bad to worse for him.
Into the stadium section again we go. 64, that's David Munoz, a long lap penalty for irresponsible riding. So the race stewards have deemed David Alonso, your race leader, the man second in the championship, to be riding irresponsibly. I assume that's the contact made with Joel Kelso down the front straight a few laps ago. So drama here, ladies and gentlemen. David Munoz, that man there on the purple machine, has a long lap penalty, and the long lap penalty lane is at the final corner here. He won't have seen it, but he should see it when he crosses the line on his pit board and on the board that the marshals hold up at the end of the straight. So David Munoz has a long lap penalty. That could be huge in terms of the championship.
Yeah, it certainly could be. So massive implications for this race then and for his title chase. Got to say it was somewhat expected, as we did see David Munoz several times getting his elbows out and getting a little bit frisky there with Joel Kelso. So certainly no surprise to see that one pop up on our timing screens. One person as well, Elliot, sorry, just cut you off there, that we haven't mentioned at all is David Alonso. The man that is leading the Red Bull Rookies Cup is up in this top group and certainly making a few waves coming through the pack. So there you go then, next time around, David Munoz will see penalty, big yellow letters on his pit board, and, well, he'll have a certain number of laps to take that one.
Just seeing how far behind Munoz Holgado is 1.5 seconds. Yeah, 1.5 seconds as they come through sector 2. Normally, the long lap penalty costs you around about 3 seconds, so it's not going to be quite race over for David Munoz, but it really is going to dent his chances of fighting for the podium today, because when he takes it, it's going to be at most 8 laps to go, and there's not a lot of time after that to try and pick your way through the group, especially when they're all running around the same pace. It's just being broken up a little bit now. David Munoz is obviously pushing. I wonder if he has seen it. If he's not, he will see it on the next lap, but he's got Ivan Ortola tucked up right behind him. Yeah, you can see there. So I think maybe he has seen it. He's just checking who's behind him.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a few qualifying laps come in now then from David Munoz, unless he does dive into it this time. Maybe that's just what he was checking. Yep, there he goes, sticks his left arm out, signalling that he's going into the long lap penalty area. And he does. Make sure you don't go on the blue, David, otherwise you'll have to do it again. Lovely stuff,
nice.
Like Zarco and Bruno last year, fantastic. So where's that slotted him back into then?
Just in front of Daniel Holgado, so that's not costing too much time at all.
Certainly not, as though he's not going to waste any time. Underneath Marco Tapia, he does go then and pushes the 13 out wide. So certainly elbows back out.
So he's just slotted in behind Scott Ogden there, the number 26, and then just in front of the Gas World Championship leader, Daniel Holgado. So not too much time lost there for David Munoz. It only cost him 1.9 seconds, so just under 2 seconds. So I was wrong. It normally, Josh Watley, who was running the lead group, he's crashed out, the number 17. Missed that if we saw it on the screens. I wonder where Josh Watley's gone down. It must be early in the lap.
It's a big shame for Josh Watley.
Screens.
Big shame for Josh Watley. Was 13th on the grid. Another strong qualifying from the young Brit. Really made a big step this year in performance, and yeah, big shame to see him crush out of this one. Elio Bartolini then gets the braking zone into turn 6 a little bit wrong, relinquishes that position to the number 20 of Garcia, and also just gives his teammate Ortola a bit of a comfortable gap at the front. This is the biggest gap we've seen at the front for a single rider, but you never know. Will he be able to break away? I very much doubt it, but I've been proved wrong before.
Yeah, we do see this quite often, don't we? A rider can get about a half-second lead, and unless it starts creeping up towards the second mark, it's really difficult with the slipstream to try and properly break clear. And we've mentioned before, all these riders, not all of them, but all the riders at least who are in the front group are running very similar lap times in qualifying and in the race. So it's going to be difficult for anyone to break clear. And as we talk about that, that's Bartolini going down at the final corner. I thought he'd collected Ivan Ortola. I think there was contact, but he's crashed out as Bartolini's up and okay, thankfully, the number 22. So the rider second on the grid has crashed out at the final corner. Luckily for Ivan Ortola, he didn't really feel any effects of that, and it's now Daniel Munoz in third place behind, with Garcia leading. That was almightily close.
Yeah, I can confirm, folks, Elliot York has just hit the ceiling in the comms box, almost fell off the back of his chair with that one. I was actually looking at the timing screen, so I completely missed it, so he gave me a heart attack as well. But that is a massive shame for Elliot Bartolini, showing his potential once again and doing the business here on his debut in CB. As we're going to go 4 abreast into turn 5. Unbelievable. So Kelso then, where did he come from? Was he fourth? Fourth to first in one corner. Here's going to be Bartolini's crash. Let's have a look at what actually happened, as I did miss it. Oh, that is mightily close. Wow. That was very close to taking out his teammate, and a disaster for the team MTA guys.
Yeah, just a little bit too late on the brake. He's got it out of shape and then just sort of ran into the back of his teammate Ortola and had nowhere to go. But thankfully everyone's okay. I think Bartolini will be either rejoining the race, and if he's not able to rejoin the race, he'll have another crack at it in race 2. Here he is then. He's rejoined the race. Where is he? He's down in 23rd place. So I don't think any points are going to be on offer today for the number 22. But as we say, there's a race later this afternoon. So what's the group then? There's a little bit of a gap back to the number 80 of David Alonso. So the top 9 within a second, 0.8 seconds from Ivan Ortola down to Tapia in 9th place.
Yep, we've got an 18-wheeler, we've got a semi-articulated truck out the front of this CEV Moto3 race in Jerez, and it is Ortola doing the business once again. He's very good at this, actually, Ortola. When he is in that lead group, he's very good at just staying at the top of that lead group, in the top 1, 2, 3 positions, and kind of controlling it from there. It's quite often that you find other guys like to sit back in the pack and kind of make a late push and surge their way through. As one of those is Daniel Holgado, as it seems in the last few races, as an example. But certainly Ortola very comfortable to just lead from the front, is doing his own thing.
Just looking where David Munoz is. He's ahead of his teammate now, the number 64, ahead of the number 17. They are, if you're joining us for the first time, they aren't related. Just makes life difficult for us commentators and the photographers and everyone else that they're on the same bike and they've got the same name, but they are not related. David Munoz and Daniel Munoz in 6th and 7th, with Daniel Holgado in 8th place there, the number 96. So live championship standings then, Ortola would move into 2nd place. Of course, he is leading the race, so he would take the 25 points if the checker flag was waved now, as Matsuyama carves his way up the inside into P2. So Matsuyama, the Japanese rider, starting to make some good progress there on the junior talent team machine.
Just got a number 21 track limits warning. Where is the number 21 in the order? Actually can't see him at all. So we'll ignore that one then. Back to the front, and as you say, Matsuyama starting to make a few moves.
I think that's a...
Yeah, must have been a wrong graphic. Oh, that's unfortunate then. David Salvador has retired his TM racing machine. It seems as though possibly a little bit of damage from that crash earlier on has just forced him to pull out of it. He actually set the fastest sector in sector 3 on that last lap, so he was probably pushing on. Anyway, back to what's going on at the front. In case you are wondering, this top group is actually closing up now. It's becoming a bit of a 14-wheeler. Right at the back of it, you've got Zonta van den Gorberg on a Team Super B Honda. You see those flashes of black and orange. That is him way at the back. Certainly good, this from Zonta, improving with every race into the points in the last 3 races. And if he can get another point-scoring finish here, I'm sure that he'll be very happy, and so will his dad, Jürgen.
Scott Ogden then up into 3rd place. The British rider now making progress into the podium places. But it's still Ivan Ortola being chased now by Matsuyama. But yeah, Scott Ogden, turn 1 move, as clean as you like from Ogden. He's now up into 3rd place, and David Munoz there, number 64, is back up the sharp end after his long lap penalty, and he's going to be, like we say, desperate to try and take as many points as possible today, because we just saw the live championship standings. It's only going to be closed down to 55 points as Ogden goes into 2nd place past Matsuyama. I think he's going to make it. Yes, he is. So nice and clean there, down into the Danny Pedrosa corner from Scott Ogden, as David Munoz takes a look behind again.
Yep, great move from Ogden. I don't want to blow me on trumpet, Elliot, but I did say that I thought we'd see him fighting for a podium place, and that is exactly what he's doing. So great stuff from number 26, getting it done at the famous number 26's corner. So Ogden certainly showing once again that he's improving every race. That is a huge move from Jose Garcia. Takes 2 of them and 1. That's not really a corner you can do that, but he's done it anyway. They're all shaking their heads about it. But certainly then Garcia following Ogden through and pushing on right to the head of this pack now.
Yeah, that was the junior talent team garage was focused in on, obviously Matsuyama getting shoved down to 5th place. As Ogden then chooses turn 13, the Jorge Lorenzo corner this time, to take the lead of the race. Scott Ogden, the British rider, is going to lead over the line with just 4 laps to go. So he's made very good progress in the last couple of laps as the number 26, Scott Ogden. He's now into the race lead. Is he going to hold it into turn 1? Ortola is up the inside, but he can't brake late enough. Ogden sweeps around the outside, and with 4 laps to go, just keeps it on the asphalt there. Matsuyama up the inside of David Munoz into turn 2. It's getting busy now at the front, and we've got a lead pack, like you say, Jack, of 14 still, with Zonta van den Gorberg just bringing up the rear there in 14th place. I'm
sure there was a smile under that helmet of Scott Ogden's there as he came across the line, leading this race here in the CAV Junior Moto3 World Championship. Once again, there's big moves going on into turn 5. That is seriously brave from Matsuyama, hanging it around the outside of David Munoz, but it doesn't work out for him there. I think he's actually lost a good 3 or 4 positions. As now, look who we see. As soon as we get into crunch time, look at that number 96 diving towards the apex. Yeah. Picks off 1, not quite another one, but it's up into 4th, and it's the highest he's been all race long for championship leader Holgado.
That's quite funny. Holgado's just tapping the back of his seat saying, "Stick behind me," but he's saying it to David Munoz, who's 2nd in the championship. Yeah. So that's just not, unfortunately for Holgado, how it's going to work. I mean, he would love for Daniel Munoz just to sit behind him, but that's not going to happen, unfortunately. No, Daniel Holgado.
That would have to be the biggest payoff in history. So, yeah, not going to happen, unfortunately, Danny. I can predict that one. Probably in about 3/4 time, you're going to get the number 64 rocketing up the inside of you.
We do see that quite often in the lower classes. Riders trying to keep the competitors behind them. It's indicating to say, look, I know I've got some good pace here. Stick behind me, we can bridge the gap. But they're all in the lead group. David Munoz just looking at the inside there, no. But Scott Ogden still leading the way then A whole lap led for Scott Ogden. He's held off the competition so far. 3 laps to go.
Look at
There's
that.
Daniel Holgado and Scott Ogden's team, the Aspar Gas team, cheering their riders on. And Holgado, is he going to move into second place? No, but he is up to 3rd place. So, championship standings, 65 points. As things stand, Holgado would extend his lead to 65 from 60 as Garcia once again dives up the inside. He's done that so many times today, and most of them have been very clean, to be fair to them. But getting his head down is Scott Ogden. Look, he's got a little bit of a gap now. It's 2/10 in the first section. It looks a little bit more than that to me, but let's see what Scott Ogden can do here. He's looking very, very, very good.
Well, if you're Scott Ogden right now, this is it. Give it absolutely everything. 3 laps to go. Don't care about the tyres anymore. It's qualifying lap time. Just give it everything for these next 2.5 laps, because this could well be the first time that Scott Ogden steps onto the top box of a Junior World Championship podium.
Getting busy there into turn 6. That's Daniel Munoz just having to sit up slightly. I think that's Joel Kelso just behind him. Holgado once again taps the back of his seat. He knows he's got pace here, does Daniel Holgado. He's just been waiting patiently in the mid-pack throughout the race, but Daniel Munoz doesn't listen. He'll know the championship. He'll know the championship scene. He'll know his teammate is second in the championship at the minute, and he'll want to be doing all he can to try and take points off Holgado as well.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. If we're going to look back at a little replay here. What's this then? This is just them all getting a little bit busy down into turn 6. Oh, a little bit of contact there from Garcia and David Munoz, just flaring the elbow out as they come across the bumps down into turn 6. But no, didn't affect either of them too bad, as there they are, 3rd and 4th at the moment, as they're all going to look up the inside. Scott Ogden, is he going to maintain the lead? He does, but oh, that was extremely close. Garcia is pretty brave, isn't he? He loves hanging it around the outside. There's the boss, Paolo Magelli. Absolutely no expression on the face at the moment. I think it's just nerves in that garage.
Tell you what, Scott Ogden is very, very good on the brakes as his teammate Holgado dives at the inside into turn 1. Ortola's trying desperately to just move into the inside lane to try and pass, but Ogden's really, really good and late on the brakes, and Ortola's finding no way through so far. 1 3/4 laps to go, and it's still Ogden leading the way from Ortola. It's David Munoz now in 3rd, and behind him is Daniel Holgado. Garcia just got a little bit beaten up there. He's down into 5th place, but how long for? As Munoz looks to show a wheel up the inside of Ortola, but not quite. That's a difficult place to pass, but we're heading into turn 6 now, which is a difficult place to pass, but it's a very popular place to pass.
Yeah, it certainly is, and that's exactly what's going to happen here, I am sure. Once again, Ortola looks at the inside, but once again, he cannot outbrake Ogden. So whatever Scott Ogden is doing, whatever setup he's got on that gas machine, it is working a treat on the front end, because no one's getting even a sniff of getting past the number 26.
Are we going to see any moves into the stadium section into turn 9? It's a very popular passing pace, as is turn 6, arguably, as well as turn 1 and turn 13, the 2 most popular places. Ortola again shows a wheel, but he can't get by. So
there was that teammate help you were talking about as well, Elliot. Looks as though number 17 of Daniel Munoz has just slipped up the inside of the 96 of Holgado. So certainly riding shotgun for the 64 David.
Yeah, Holgado can just see David Munoz and Ivan Ortola in 3rd and 2nd place there ahead of Scott Ogden. Of course, talking of teammates helping out, Scott Ogden winning the race, beating Munoz, who goes at the inside. A nice clean move there in the end on Ortola. If Ogden can beat Holgado's main rivals to the win, that would be fantastic for Holgado. So, last lap time, it's Scott Ogden leading the way, the number 26. David Munoz is in the slipstream. He comes up the inside, so does Ortola. No passes there into turn 1, though.
Yeah, this is going to be a battle of wills. Who wants this more? Scott Ogden, does he want his first ever win in the Junior World Championship, or does David Munoz want to claw back as many points as possible over Holgado to keep this championship even more alive? It's going to be an absolute titanic battle. Watch out into turn 5, because David Munoz has looked here every single... Oh, huge moment for Garcia. Out the seat, somehow stays on the thing, loses a couple of positions, but wow, what a save.
Here we go then, slipstream time down into turn 6. What's going to happen here? The group behind, led by Danny Holgado, has just lost touch a bit after Garcia was wide. He's on the grass there. What's going to happen into turn 6? Ivan Ortola at the inside of David Munoz, but Ogden again late on the brakes, and he makes a late apex. So Ogden still leads the way. Ortola passes David Munoz into 2nd place.
Check that one off the check sheet for Scott Ogden then. That is one big place done and been and sorted. He doesn't have to worry about that one anymore. Now, coming coming through into the stadium section. There's a few places here as they run down to turn 13 that he needs to defend from. Is he going to be poached here? He is. Ortola then up into the lead with only 4 corners to go.
Oh, I thought Ogden was going to get the cut back there, but he does a great pass from Ortola. Then number 24 now leads, but it's all going to come down to the last corner. David Munoz in third, Ogden in second, Daniel Munoz in fourth. They're all chasing Ivan Ortola as they come down into the final corner.
This is it then. They're all going to look to the inside. It's going to be 3-4 abreast. Oh my word, what a line that is from David Munoz. Sweeping around the outside. It's Daniel. So 2 people have crashed. That's Marco Tapia and 3 of them, Matsuyama and Jose Julian Garcia. Ogden's going to run to the line.
It's a run to the line. Scott Ogden's leading the way. David Munoz tucked up in the slipstream. Who's that pulling out? But it's Scott Ogden who wins his first Junior World Championship race. The British rider wins here. Race 1, Jerez. I'm not sure what happened at the last corner. We'll have to find out. That's Tapia, that's Matsuyama, and I think that's Garcia all going down. We knew it would come down to the last lap, to the last corner, but it's that man, Scott Ogden, on the Aspar gas machine, the number 26, who wins. Oh, what a race. What a race from Scott Ogden. 0.05 seconds, splitting them at the line as close as you like it. There's Takuma Matsuyama, loses out. We didn't quite see what happened there. We were rightly focusing just on the lead 4 riders. That's Marco Tapia, also went down. Be nice to get a replay of that with Daniel Holgado crossing the line in 5th place.
Wow. What a ride from Scott Ogden. His first win in the Junior World Championship. Doing the Brits proud, sensational stuff. Proving why the Aspar Junior team have picked him up. He kept his cool coming into turn 13 and just hugged it tight and went under them as all the chaos unfolded in front of him. Commiserations to the likes of Matsuyama and Garcia. They've had so much bad luck this year when it comes down to the crunched laps. And it once again is just not quite worked out for them. But congratulations, Scott Ogden. Great stuff from him.
Good result for David Munoz, 2nd place. Not quite the win he would have been hoping for, but more importantly, he beats Daniel Holgado just to close the title chase down a little bit. Ivan Ortola gets a podium to do the same with Daniel Munoz, David Munoz's teammate, beating Daniel Holgado. But what a race. Scott Ogden, the 17-year-old British rider, 2019 British Talent Cup champion. He is now a Junior World Championship race winner. Ivan Ortola pulling a wheelie as they come round the lap. There's a few fans there in the grandstand that looks over turns 11 and 12. Good to see the fans back. But there he is. Scott Ogden, his 2nd full year in the Junior World Championship. He was with the Junior Talent team last year after winning the British Talent Cup in 2019. A learning year last year, got some very solid results, and moved to the Gas Aspar setup in 2021 even, alongside Daniel Holgado and David Alonso. He's been on the pace all weekend. We mentioned it before, didn't we? On Thursday, he posted on his social media channels that he was feeling good on the bike. A nice setup immediately, felt good, and he's just been solid all the way through the weekend. And the way he picked his way through the chasing pack, or the lead pack I should say, in the closing stages, made no real fuss, just picked his way through nice and calmly and then just held station at the front. Awesome on the brakes. What a win for the British rider. And we finally see another British winner in the Junior World Championship. Scott Ogden, take a bow. Just runs out of Parc Ferme, beaming smile of course, to celebrate with his team. Fantastic stuff from Scott Ogden. Of course, race 2 coming up later on today. He'll be hoping to make it a magical double. Imagine that. What a weekend that would be for Scott Ogden if he can make it 2 from 2. But even if he doesn't, it's been a fantastic weekend up till now. He is a race winner. There's David Munoz. 2nd all due for him today in race 1. There's Ivan Ortola. Podiums for those 2. Not quite sure what the championship standings will look like, but they have closed Holgado down, which is all they needed to do. They just need to beat Holgado and hope Holgado doesn't hold a 75-point advantage at the end of today's action. Good sportsmanship there on Ortola. He tried desperately, didn't he, to pass Ogden in the last few laps, but just couldn't get by. Ogden was supreme on the brakes. To all the passing manoeuvres. all the passing places. Here's what happened at the last corner then. It was all going to come down to the last corner. So we just saw at the back there, Marco Tapia just diving up the inside. It really does suck you in the Jorge Lorenzo corner. We've seen it, didn't we, in the Moto3 World Championship classes. But staying out of trouble up front was Scott Ogden, the number 26, crossing the line to win. And there's the number 64 of David Munoz, who, let's not forget, did serve a long lap penalty, so that makes his second place even more commendable. Does David Munoz, a fantastic race for him. Let's hope all the riders who went down at the final corner are okay. I think we saw them getting back to their feet. Takuma Matsuyama crossed the line in the end, with Garcia and Tapia not finishing the race. We'll be hearing from Scott Ogden in just a few moments. Jack Gorst has ran down to Parc Ferme to chat with the British rider. And I'm sure he'll be very, very pleased. What a race from Ogden. That'll give him so much confidence. And we can hear from him now. He's down in Parc Ferme with Jack Gorst.
So Scott, crazy race and a great race to pick up your first World Championship victory in. How did you, that last lap was incredible. You just kept your cool, you picked your right moments. How does it feel?
Yeah, it was a crazy race. I dropped back a bit at the start and then I sort of picked my way through carefully and I ended up leading for the last few laps. Just I thought I'd set a pace and if they can pass me, they can pass me, and if not, they can't. So Ortola came past on the last lap, and then in the last corner, the Munoz brother, the Munozes, sorry. Yeah, they came through in the last corner, and I knew it was late because I broke as late as possible, and they clipped Ortola, and I got an inside line and was able to win the race, which is just incredible to say.
Well, clever racing. You got one more this afternoon, so hopefully you can do it again, eh?
Yeah, hopefully, and try to get some points on the championship and help Danny win the championship.
Congratulations, Scott.
Thank you.
Great race.
Congratulations, Scott Ogden. Ortola starting from pole. Here's the highlights from the race we've just seen. The number 24 getting a perfect launch with Joel Kelso, making his way up to second past Alea Bartolini on the opening lap. Another fantastic race in the Junior Moto3 World Championship. It was busy right from the off. David Munoz getting his elbows out. He slowly picked his way to the spearhead of the group. There he is passing Joel Kelso. There'd be some drama in the opening stages between them two. David Munoz being deemed to be riding irresponsibly. Contact was made a couple of times. Here it is down the front straight. The number 64 just veering into the number 66. That handed David Munoz a long lap penalty. Ivan Ortola said thank you very much and took the lead of the race. David Munoz would come out just ahead of title rival Daniel Holgado as the two MTA riders, Ortola and Bartolini, found their way to the front until that moment. Bartolini just tagging the back of Ortola into the final corner, and down the Italian went. He eventually finished 18th after picking up the bike. Ortola led from Garcia, but Scott Ogden, your eventual race winner, just slowly picked his way through the group from the top 10, found his way at the front, and then looked ever so comfortable in the lead of the race. This is the last lap. Ortola dived up the inside at turn 9, made the move stick, but then it all came down to the last corner, as it often does. David Munoz went up the inside of Ortola. Daniel Munoz went round the outside, but Ogden carved up the inside as drama unfolded between a few riders at the back there. Then it was a run to the line. Ogden came out of the final corner leading, and he crossed the line to win his first race in the Junior Moto3 World Championship. Fantastic for the British rider, fantastic for British fans as well watching on our home.
Hasta la última de las curvas ha habido tío en Lorenzo y arrancamos con la ceremonia de podium.
Time for the podium ceremony then. Ivan Ortola will be first out, the third place finisher. There's one of the Gas Aspar team members on the podium.
Ivan Ortola.
Congratulations to Ivan Ortola, third place. That's his third podium of the season, his first since finishing second in Barcelona. David Munoz That's his second podium in succession after winning last time out in Aragon. And Scott Ogden, his second podium of the season, but his first victory, standing on the top step. David Munoz holding up the second place trophy. Good job there from the guys in second and third place, David Munoz and Ivan Ortola. But not quite as good as race winner Scott Ogden. His first race victory in the Junior World Championship. Fantastic effort from the British rider. Another victory for the Aspar team as well. A very classy setup they've got through in the junior ranks all the way up to the World Championship. And there's a nice little €400 check. Sorry for Scott Ogden, that might buy him a McDonald's or two on his way home. As we get ready for the national anthem of Great Britain.
Aplauso para el vencedor de esta primera carrera con emoción hasta el final. Himno incluye también, por supuesto, llega el momento para poder celebrar con la gaseosa.
Slight bias in the commentary box. We were singing along there to the Great British National Anthem. We've not heard it for a while, as we mentioned, since 2013 in the Junior World Championship. As the riders will spray the fizzy water. Of course, not quite old enough yet for the bubbly on the podium.
You got to say, though, Elliot, while we're giving Scott Ogden praise and others, David Munoz, what a ride to come back and finish second after that, the long lap penalty as well. Yeah, incredible ride to keep the championship alive, and we'll see that very, very shortly indeed.
Well, then here's the final results from race 1 of 2 here today. Scott Ogden beats David Munoz on Ortola by less than a tenth of a second. How close do you like it? Daniel Munoz and Daniel Holgado close out the top 5. Diogo Moreira, didn't see much of him during that race, but he finished 6th. Joel Kelso was 7th, with David Alonso making his way through to 8th. And Zonta van den Gorber gets a top 10. Great ride from the Dutch rider.
That's actually an incredible ride from Moreira with the 2 long lap penalties as well.
Very good point, yeah. Very good point. Ryu Farioli, Tashkorn Barazri from 31st on the grid, I think that was. So great ride from Tashkorn Barazri to get into the points. Linetta, Uriarte and Vaya close out the point scoring positions there. Zalea Bartolini, he picked up his KTM and rode it home to 18th place after the crash. Senna Aegis, Sho Nishimura, Marossi and Matsuyama. The luckless Matsuyama at the final corner getting caught up in that incident, crosses the line in 22nd position.
Yeah, really, really big shame for Matsuyama. Once again, showing that he's just as bit as every good as many of the guys in this championship, but just luck at the moment is not on his side. So this is the championship then. So 51 points. Now that means going into race 2 that Daniel Holgado can clinch the championship, but what it would mean is that David Munoz would have to win the race and Daniel Holgado would have to score no points. So it could happen, but the likelihood of it happening are quite slim.
Anything can happen in the Junior Moto3 World Championship. Race 2 coming your way a little bit later on this afternoon as we get set for the Hawkers European Talent Cup race 1. Then it will be Moto2 European Championship race 1. And yeah, like we say, we'll do it all over again this afternoon here in Jerez. Just seeing there the final few riders in the championship standings. Tashkorn Barazri moving up a few places there with his 12th place finish. What a ride from the junior talent team rider.
More points on the board for Zonta van den Gorberg as well. I do believe that was his best points finish so far this season, so great stuff from that young man.
So then, Scott Ogden, the number 26 British rider, is a race winner here in Jerez. Can he do it again this afternoon? There's plenty of riders who've shown they can fight for victory. We'll find out a little bit later on. Join us for them.